later on when they play against, no disrespect to eUnited, their real competition. Because eUnited, like Gibbs said, we have to see from them. They have to prove to everybody that they're not a one-hit wonder, that they haven't just made it into this this bracket stage out of one good run. Are we going to see a good performance out of them? I think they've definitely got what it takes to get a game against SSG, but more than that is very hard to see.
And we are going to see what we can get out of them today. That is a little bit of a whiffed flick, but I think it was intentional. And Rettles will come in for what was basically a tap-in.
Yeah, Typical didn't have the boost. I think he was probably trying to flick that, in fairness. He went for the side flip, which indicates that you want to get the ball in the very front of your car before you flip into it to generate not only height on the ball, but also that forward acceleration. But when you don't have boost and you're going for a high-paced side flip flick, the ball does sometimes just fall off the front of your car and end up making no contact. Now, the threat was there, and that's what enabled Rettles to just come in with a free shot afterwards. Oh dear, Arsenal left uncontested, and eUnited will have to do a lot more defensively than that. Tristan just napping in the play.
Yeah, Tristan following a few too many rules. Maybe if coaches out there trying to get people up in a few ranks will definitely like seeing that one. But at this level, you've got to be quick.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got to try and play that one as quickly as he can to keep it away from SSG. And this is, I hate to say it because we're not even a minute in, but this is already panic stations for eUnited because they'll be coming into this one knowing that they're the underdogs. They want at least a good start here, not necessarily maybe winning this first one, but keeping it competitive. And if they have all the adrenaline coming into this series and they suddenly just get smashed by 4 or 5 goals, how quickly can this start turning in games 2 and 3?
Yeah, this could turn into a sweep quite quickly if Spacestation can keep this up. They've come out with the right focus, and clearly they've done whatever warm-up they needed to do today to show up from the first second of the game. And that sort of confidence has been lacking from Spacestation recently. If you look at Regional 2, they didn't move around the field with as much conviction as they did in Regional 1, as they do now. They've clearly got a purpose. They've found their confidence once again. And eUnited will really struggle in the matchup. Oh, that's a great pickup, though. Hey, when you need everything you can get, a 50-50 going in your favor is more than welcome. Tristan barrels one in.
Well, you've been talking about the dominance hitbox quite a bit. One good way of using it is using the entire length for a 50-50.
The cereal box dunk right there.
Definitely a lot more solid than the cereal box, but was certainly the ideal effect for eUnited, and a massive challenge win up against Typical of all people. And now eUnited, this is what they needed. Just didn't want this first game to get out of hand too quickly, to a point where it could start spilling into the next few games. Rettles takes his time, Typical following up. This is where the real questions of eUnited will be asked. How quickly can they spot the passing plays from SSG? How quickly can they maybe, even if they do spot them, get over to stop them?
Yeah, it's quite interesting to note that despite the fact that Typical just got dunked on directly into the Spacestation net, that has not scared them away from dribbling out of defense at all. If anything, they're doing it even more after failing. They think, well, okay, we got that one wrong. Let's just keep doing it and not make any mistakes. And this is reminiscent of yesterday's series against NRG. NRG intercepted a few passing plays. Did that stop Spacestation for going for more risky passing plays? No, they doubled down on it. They just stepped it up and made even more accurate and fast passes happen. Now they're dribbling everything out of defense. This is clearly a game plan that they've got in the matchup.
Arsenal over the top. He might be able to follow this, and he was challenged earlier on, and there was contact made onto his car. But yeah, it's a different approach that we've seen Spacestation Gaming. I've seen a lot of coaches out there say, like, if you get something wrong once, do it 10 more times and get it right every single time. Otherwise, you're going back to 1. Spacestation do that at a competitive level. Something goes wrong for them, and they do it 10 more times and make sure it works out and they get goals from it. Just to make sure, okay, yeah, that was the one-off. We still actually have the capability of doing this.
Yeah, there again, we saw before the demo came in, that was an attempt to dribble out of defense. Spacestation are just going over and over again for ball control above all else. They have decided that eUnited are not a threat so long as they can keep possession of the ball. So long as Spacestation can keep possession of the ball for the majority of it. And this is good, though, by Tristan. Oh, he just couldn't quite get on the right side of that rebound. would have been nice to see. Basically, at least for the neutral spectators, but here come SSG again. That's good backboard positioning by Wondermike, but he's not done the best job of clearing that ball. Ajax to the rescue. And as the final minute gets underway, eUnited's chances to equalize have been few and far between.
Certainly so. Wondermike over the top. He's going to try and give chase. It's a good recovery for him, actually, but his first touch just too heavy. You would have much preferred to try and play that over in the back corner. Ajax hoping that there was a few Wondermikes stacked on top of each other if he was going to try and make that one. Instead, plays the ball after the fact. 30 seconds here. And a lot of these first touches have not been good enough so far from eUnited. They are handing the ball straight back over to Spacestation Gaming. And since Spacestation Gaming aren't trying to chase after them, just waiting for the ball to come straight over, they can play it right where eUnited wanted to. Over to the side, that's much better from Ajax. He opens up the field, over to Ajax once again, and Arsenal shuts it down. Tristan getting too much contact on him from the other team means that he couldn't go for the follow-up shot.
Yeah, that demo needed to be paired up with a quick play, not a slow-moving flip reset. That takes far too long to get to the goal in the few seconds that it is open. Will they get another shot at it? No, they won't. Space Station will get the Game 1 win. And looking good while doing it. Such a confident display of ball control, even though their only goal they conceded in this game came off a dunk on a dribble. Good connection. And I believe it was typical. I'm not 100% sure. But out of the Space Station players, I think he's usually the one who has connection issues. But all is well. They've found one that they're going to run with for game number 2. But yeah, don't worry, everybody. I know some of you are thinking, oh, no, they're going to do breaks between every game now. Don't worry, that's not the plan. We will be rolling right through these games, one after another, so long as we get some good luck with the player connections.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those things, especially with North America. Have you ever heard of this, Johnny? But North America is a very large place.
Yeah, I heard
Rattles
is a large country.
Very large goals.
Yeah, this is a bit of a strange one. Rattles just he spotted the blue goal in the distance and he just drove straight at it. He just went in a straight line at the goal and nobody was able to stop him. He'll probably be a bit surprised that he had such little resistance coming out of eUnited, who just didn't have their challenge timing really figured out there. You know, in threes, the idea is not just to challenge with one player, but also to have a backup player. Now that's a uncontested shot. Wondermike's put it wide. And yeah, it was a position where Space Station had a player coming in to recover, get in the way, but got to test them. You've got to put it on target.
Yeah, and Space Station continuing to make a few mistakes on their attempts to transition out. Typical over to Rattles, but no, I don't think he quite spotted Ajax, maybe blending in with the blue behind him. Again, for eUnited, they've conceded early. They managed to figure it out in the second half of the last game. There was that first half where they didn't quite seem to settle. Tristan, he tests Typical. That's a good bit of angle he's added, and the recovery is even better. That was going to be past the midfield. Rattles over to Typical one more time, and that should be their way out. Typical's just going to slow play.
You know, there's a time and a place to fake a pass so that you can then, surprise the goalkeeper with a shot. But I don't think that was it. I was really hoping for a pass there from Tristan. And, how about that for a pass from Arsenal to Typical with the flip reset? Space Station make it 2. eUnited just can't keep up.
Okay, these passing plays are getting a little bit insane. Space Station, it's that direct right down the middle. The question is, you got to try and figure out what they're going to do with it. Are they going to aerial up early, try and just tap it straight down? Are they going to go for a backboard pass? Are they going to go for a flip reset now? Apparently, we're adding into this arsenal of different plays they can go for. As a defender, you've got to figure that one out so quickly. What makes that even more difficult is that it's a decision that's not typically made until the second half of the aerials. So you can pick one thing and the attacker will just adjust accordingly. Tristan starts to move in as Typical again will get rid. This is the midfield that Space Station Gaming have had full control over. And again, the passing plays are so good. Tristan maybe goes for the bump, and he gets it underneath Rattles.
Big plays from Tristan once again. It was so close to being another Arsenal flip reset passing play, resulting in a goal. But when you commit 2 players that aggressively, you do leave the other alone at the back. And if Tristan lands that flip or that air dribble bump, there is no saving it. It's one of the unstoppable shots in Rocket League. and he's got it perfectly right on this occasion. Wonder Mike's double touch is collected on the back ball by Arsenal. More composure and defense from SSG as they dribble the ball clear. They almost had an open net there. They do have an open net. Nobody's there for it. Arsenal will be wondering what little faith my team had in me centering that ball.
Oh, well, Brett
not this time.
had absolute faith this time around, and it's again, just the delivery system is so on point. As quick as you want, and Rettles, he just has to make contact, really.
Yeah, that was they definitely paid for the delivery there. They didn't click on the free delivery option. That was, yeah, the most expensive but the fastest possible delivery. No delay at all. No chance for the defense to react. Yeah, it is going the way that we expected so far in terms of Space Station domination, but I'm still very impressed to see them controlling the ball this well. You know, in all of NRG's recent success, I don't think we saw much of this from them. It was all, you know, speed. It was all hard hits and, you know, insane passing plays. You know, the fact that Space Station can dominate while slowing the game down really shows that there are multiple play styles that you can go for at the absolute highest level and still have success.
It's something they're going to need to start adding as well, because at the highest level of Rocket League, you have to be able to adapt. You know, there's so many top teams out there now that can spot what you're good at and change what they're doing around it. BDS being a fantastic example over in Europe, where they'll just start figuring out, okay, you've made a few mistakes here and there. We'll start going to that more often.
Oh.
Ajax. That was tricky of him. Good pressure here right now. But there's nothing else going to come of it. And Tristan, well, he's just making laps right now. He's doing shuttle runs right down each side of the field, but no contact made on the ball so far. He's going to try and get up here and make sure he can keep this one out.
Space Station still in the hunt for more goals. They're not satisfied with the 2-goal lead. And, you know, having that one game advantage has really given them the confidence to just press aggressively, non-stop in this second game. Oh dear, Wonder Mike's got to be careful. He does well to keep that under control. Almost an own goal position, you could say. Yeah, Space Station are really showing, and also I think that little delayed touch there by Ajax on his aerial play just recently, that really shows why the modern day Rocket League can be so exciting compared to a few seasons back, which we didn't realize at the time had such limited options in comparison to what the players have now. The rising popularity of flip reset plays, they give players so much more adaptability mid-play. You know, back in the day when you commit to an aerial, that's it. You're going for that aerial. You've got to just go for the ball, get a hit on it, and that's your only option. Now, with the flip reset being a part of the game that almost all the top players can utilize, you can get the immediate hit on the ball, or you can get one touch and then another touch immediately afterwards, which is, you know, really quite crazy to think of when we look back even a year ago, a year and a half. Flip resets had never happened. Never. And now all the players are doing it. You just wonder how high the skill ceiling of this game can really be. And
it was a mechanic that we have seen slowly get introduced as you saw the players getting more and more, you know, curious about, okay, we've seen a few goals going in with this. Devo Season 3 being a fantastic example of, you know, one of the first times we started seeing it being used professionally. But then you start seeing the teams getting a little bit more curious. It's just a case of, okay, we've got the ball in our side of the field. Do I want to go for a booming clear that's handing away pressure? Or what we saw players like Bluey actually start to really specialize in, which was taking the ball up to the air, take it across the entire field. You can't challenge me whilst I'm over here. And then a flip reset at the very end just for extra distance. And from there, the entire mechanic has just grown more and more popular and more diverse in its usage. But what has also been very diverse so far is the offensive pressure and the offensive arsenal that we have seen from Space Station Gaming. Today, they've added something a little bit more secretive, a little bit more patience to their game. And if this continues on the way it is, we're going to see how that can be used against KCP in the semifinals.
Yeah, I think if we have to compare NRG to Space Station. And, you know, we're not done with this series, but I know most of you guys watching will think it is just a formality at this point that eUnited are going to be eliminated in the quarterfinals as we expected. You know, when we look at NRG and Space Station, I think NRG had more mechanical brilliance and a little bit more speed when they dominated. And they're still, kind of in that hot streak outside of their one loss. Where Space Station have a bit more of a diverse playstyle. They know how to slow down the game. They know how to make it awkward. They really do know how to make it physical, although NRG have been getting better at that recently as well. So that's really what impresses me most for Space Station. They have got so many different tools in the shed that they can use to score with. Whereas, other top teams, they're much more tunneled on just getting one or two, maybe three things right. And just getting, milking that for as much as they can. What eUnited have to try and figure out is what is their specialty. Because I think right now, all the other top teams in North America, they've got specialities. They've got things that they're good at, and they've got things that they could be the best at. eUnited, they haven't quite figured that out, and they've definitely got potential to do so, but they're running out of time.
And it is one of those questions going to get posed to them so many times this season. The teams with the most success so far are the ones that, almost at a glance, you can tell what they are solid at and what they're aiming for. eUnited, not quite got that just yet, and that's the reason why the question starts coming up of, is this one of the only times we're going to see them in a top 8 this season? Or can they find that one thing that really starts to push them into being a much more consistent competitor? Ajax, nice musty. Comes in for Wonder Mike, and his shot not powerful enough, but a few different options being posed here from eUnited, and that's great to see.
They're just surviving right now, which is a good start. eUnited preventing Space Station from getting that, hot streak that they got at the beginning of the last game. That being said, Space Station don't look at all phased. Quite patient and composed, sorry, is what I meant to say, that they want to wait.
They were so patient, it was worth mentioning twice.
Yeah, that's thanks for saving me on that one. It makes a lot more sense of what I was going to say. But no, they're very composed in their play style all day. They're not bothered at all by this kind of gameplay back and forth in a controlled manner. And at any moment, Space Station, they're just waiting for that opportunity to burst into action and to get that winning goal.
Here is Typical, and he wants this goal right here, right now. Over for Arsenal, he's going to put that one right low, and the follow-up should be in. It's off the post instead. Typical fakes out Ajax, demo on another player, and Wonder Mike will tap that ball over to the left-hand side. A lot went on there, Johnny, but the main thing for eUnited is that they haven't conceded.
Yeah, maybe after that exchange, they're thinking, okay, we've got some luck on our side as well. Let's just try and clutch a goal late on in this game. So this is a very difficult matchup for eUnited, but they're still in it. They're still in the quarterfinals. They're still in this playoff tournament. Can they find a way to swing it in their favor? When it gets this late in the game, now we're in the territory where one goal for eUnited is not easy to respond to for SSG.
Ajax will be looking for his chance here, but look at how smart that was from Space Station Gaming. They saw how far back Ajax was, realized that he's not going to just go diving in on them, although that is a great fake on one. Ajax gets his shot blocked. Space Station Gaming have had the better of the opportunities so far. They have had the better of the pressure, but still no goal for it. And it'll just take one lashing of the ball as Wonder Mike dives straight in. Bounces right out again. Ajax has got Wonder Mike up in support. It decides to go over the top of Arsenal. Now hooks it around, and Typical again gets the block. Looks for a follow-up off the backboard. Tristan and Wonder Mike both went for it. That double commit shouldn't hurt them too badly, but Wonder Mike's starting to run low on boost.
You can already tell going from game one to right now, eUnited have drastically improved. In game one, they were completely caught flat-footed. A Space Station hit them on the rebounds just too quickly for eUnited to react to. Now they're responding very well to everything Space Station are doing. They're making sure to be as proactive as possible as they challenge SSG. And, they are learning here. But is it going to be possible? You've figured out a way to make this matchup winnable. But can you win 3 games in a row? eUnited one goal away from making this interesting.
Oh, well, Ajax looks to take it. Typical takes over, and from what I've seen, I just want to see slightly more power. Typical!
Wow.
Well, fair enough. eUnited were valiant in game 3, but Typical is just brilliant all the time.
Yeah, you just have no idea where he's going to shoot that ball. Typical can put that in practically any part of the goal that he wants to. And although eUnited played the best game that they've had today, right there, they kept this even all the way till the very end. The difference in class was apparent. Space Station are, I'd say, back to their best. You know, if we're just looking at what they've been capable of, what they've pulled off in this tournament run so far, they look like the real deal once again. Credit to them. They've absolutely turned it around between stage 1 and now. Because stage 1, I wasn't convinced. Now, I absolutely am. You know, we saw Kansas City Pioneers smashing Rogue to start off the day. We've just seen Space Station dispose of eUnited in a very, very composed and calm fashion. What a difference in style, really, between these two teams, and the makes for a fantastic semi-final later on today.
I'm going to try and get a percentage from you very quickly before we go to break. What chance do KCP have of taking over SSG?
I think I'll give them a 40. I was that impressed with memory earlier on. I think that it's going to be a close one. Could easily go to game 7, but I've got Space Station just edging it.
All right, well, I'm going to move us on very quickly here. But the reason for that is because we have got what looks to be the best quarterfinal of the bunch coming up next. It is Team Envy against NRG.